Well, hello again, friends. Great to be back with you. Amanda Ree here with Sama Dog and bringing you day 2 of our 5-day experience, Intentional Paws 2019. Welcome to your second day of 2019. I hope it's going great. It's kind of weird today, isn't it? This Wednesday in this case, where like you really have to like go do things again, and it's not a holiday, and it's not even like the holidays are coming, so that gives me excuses not to do anything. And now it's like, all right, action back into full engagement. So I hope you all are doing great. I hope you enjoyed our experience and our coming together yesterday. So yesterday was day 1 of our 5-day session. This whole session, as you likely know, is intentional pause. The whole big idea is to slow down this intention setting a little bit and be more mindful, kind of approach it with this 5-day step-by-step kind of process. And with that, we be able to really get even more clear and more connected to our deepest truth, move out of our head and into our hearts and ask for and listen to those messages. And then with that, plant those seeds of intention and help them grow and manifest into this coming year. So I see so many of you getting on. Great to have you guys. Hi, Vanessa and Cindy and Kim, Jake, Renee, and Trish. Wonderful to have you guys here. I was wondering if we'd have all of our participants today, because sometimes people, of course, will be at work today, so surely more people watching the recording. So, okay, so what's today all about? Yes, well, first, what was yesterday about? Yesterday, day 1, was all about clarity. So we were gaining clarity through using the compass of the body, a tool that all of us have, and yet we sometimes forget to tune back into or connect more deeply to. So maybe since yesterday, you've noticed your body giving you messages a little bit more clearly. Maybe you were able to spend a little bit more time with that question, what is it that I really, really, really want? Hi, Jennifer. Good to see you. Long time no talk, sister. Jennifer and I were just on the phone a little while ago. And Lizzie too. She was there in spirit. So, really using that our body as that guide, and maybe between yesterday and today, now that just tuning back into that awareness and into that connection and communication of the body, perhaps you've noticed it helping you already. And so today we are all getting into, it's all about manifestation. So this word clearly very readily used, especially around this time of year and all of our vision boards and what are we going to make happen in 2019. And there's certainly a very important conversation to have there. Yet, when it comes to manifestation, just like when it was about clarity, it's about how does it feel. Let's, through this practice today and this next 10 minutes or so, we'll take to really get into the feeling of it and start to move that feeling through our body and out of us. So we start to become more and more in tuned to the fact that we are an instrument and that life is flowing through us, just like the breath is flowing through us. And so as life flows through us, we of course can help set the trajectory. We can point the ship, so to speak, but yet we allow the flow to happen and we enjoy the ride. And that's really the big idea here in life. And the more we can get into that feeling side of things, move away from the thinking, or at least soften the thinking and move into the feeling, we are better able to guide and ride that wave. So that's what we're going to do today. Deepak often will teach us about the 4 layers of experience. They correspond very closely to the 4 traditions of yoga practice. For those of you that might be yoga practitioners or teachers, you probably know the 4 limbs of yoga. So simply said, in the way that Deepak shares it, it's doing, that is that first step, that place of action, doing. And then there's thinking, a bit more subtle and internal. But then more subtle and internal is feeling, and even more subtle and really most deeply connected is being. So being, feeling, thinking, doing. That's the experience that all of us go through every single day, and our dogs. And hopefully your dog friends are around. I didn't introduce any of mine because they're off camera. Graham's here to the side, and a couple of them are also at the park. So, so yeah, the animals are doing the same thing, are in that process of throughout the day, different times of the day in each of those areas. But as we can slow ourselves down with an exercise like this, we can purposely, very mindfully shift into the feeling. So we move out of the thinking and all the traffic, as I refer to it as a lot, and all of the actions and the doings, and come into that subtle space within. From that space, we connect to what it is that we really, really, really want. And when we connect there and we get that feeling of yum in the body, now we can really start to plant those seeds of intention because we feel the alignment. Just as an example, maybe there's something that you wanted to intend for this year. Maybe you wanted to start a new project or, meet a new partner in your life or expand your friendships or work through a physical challenge that your body's having. But then when you checked in with your body through the practice of clarity in day one, maybe it wasn't feeling totally harmonious. And that's okay. It might just be the timing. It doesn't mean that we cannot have that intention, but it does give us an indicator that maybe there's something different. Maybe there's something needed first that will lead us to that eventually. So that's why slowing it down with an intentional pause, get it? Pause. The intentional pause will slow us down enough to give us time to really see through all of that. So let's do this together. Please sit back and get comfortable. Oh, I do want to mention, do have your journal and a pen nearby. So if you don't have that yet, if you didn't see our notes, then just grab that now before we get into it and really get into the mood. So I'll give you a moment to do that. And what we'll do first is settle in, do a very short, just kind of a meditation, more just like centering activity. And then we'll open our eyes and we'll move towards our journal. Okay? So good to see you, Vanessa, who you're there with, Brittles and Chizzy and Maggie. Oh, how nice. And I loved all of the pictures that you all shared yesterday and your experiences and what you kind of felt through day one. Please continue that. Let me know and let us know. It's all about community. Certainly this is about our connection into our intentions, but very much about the community that can support it. So please keep sharing those. Oh, and for those that are on Instagram, we're putting them over on our Insta stories so you can see some of your pictures. I'm not using anybody's names, just so you know it's kept confidential, but your beautiful pictures are there. Hi, Mary. Good to see you too. Good to connect with you. I guess I can't see you, but I feel like I see you guys. So go ahead and sit back, get comfortable. When you're ready, allow your eyes to close. Take a few deep breaths and feel the breath moving through your body. Slowly coming in through the nostrils and down into the lungs. Expand your belly fully as you allow the breath into the bottom parts of your lungs. And slowly releasing and reversing it. Just for a few breaths here, really slowing down the movement of the breath as it goes in and out. And as you're resting here, allowing the body to relax, noticing any tightness or holding anywhere in the body. And allow any of that tightness or holding to soften. With your breath, allow it to melt away. Settling your attention into your heart space. Feeling connected with that space within. The space of love and compassion. Now let's ask ourselves again, what is it that we really, really, really want? Connect to that feeling of the desire. And now, feel yourself through the experience of that intention manifesting. So what I mean by that is, imagine yourself in the experience fully. Fully in the experience, living it. And noticing how this makes you feel. What feelings are coming up as you move through your day with this intention manifested? So perhaps it's a year from now, or maybe it's just a few months, depending, of course, on what your intention is. Or maybe it's a little further into the future. But allow it to completely absorb you. Be engulfed by the feeling of this intention manifested. Be in it now for the next few breaths. And now staying connected to your breath and staying connected to the feeling of this experience. Slowly open your eyes. Reach over for your journal and your pen and start to journal. What does it feel like? What does it feel like when you're going through the day and life of your manifested dream? What are the different emotions and experiences that you might have throughout the day or throughout that moment in time when it all comes to life? So elaborate now in your journal and tell the story. Imagine as if someone came back into your life that you haven't seen, a friend that you haven't seen in several years, and they said, "What are you up to?" And now you're in the space and time in which your intention has manifested, and so you share from them from that space. You share with them from that space of what's going on with you. Tell them the story. So take a few moments now. Of course, if anyone has thoughts or questions, or maybe you just jumped in a little late and you're not quite sure what we're doing, just write to me. I see all your comments come up, so just write to me and happy to share more. please just take another 1 minute or so to continue, or kind of continue, but yet find an end to the part of your journaling for now. Of course, this is something that you can do when we finish up and carry forth, but for now, just find a pause. And when you're finished, when you've kind of come to the end of that thought and you've got a period at the end of the sentence, no rush, please close your eyes again with your journal nearby, your journal in your lap, and close your eyes for a moment again. And take a few deep breaths. Even in just a few minutes of this process or practice, maybe you really did feel the energy, the connection, the fulfillment of your desire. And so just let that feeling permeate you now and feel very present with that feeling. Remember that ultimately time is an illusion. So feel as if that experience, the manifestation, the having or the holding, feel that it's now, it's with you. It's entirely part of your being, and it is very real. Feel the joy bubbling up in your heart when you experience this manifestation. Notice the fulfillment and the experience of purpose that comes within it all. And now, with your eyes still closed, no need to journal really, but bring into the mind and tell a bit of the story of a manifestation or a desire for manifestation that you have for your dog or your pet. Just imagine them being it. Whether it's a physical situation, a feeling, an emotion, a behavior. Just feel for them, watch them, joyful, living this intention. Notice yourself observing them, and then notice yourself for just a moment as them, as your pet. Imagine how it feels for them to have this manifestation. And now with a deep breath, bringing your awareness back into your heart again. With our next exhale, allow this whole exercise to settle within you. Allow your breath to plant the seeds of your intentions in the fertile soil of your soul. Our following days will continue to nourish these seeds that we've allowed to plant in this harmonious space of feeling. And now holding one hand on your journal or placing your hand on the journal, maybe another hand on your heart. Staying connected to this deepest desire within our heart. Let's give it energy and love and light by sealing it with a long Om together. Breath in. Whenever you're ready now, slowly opening your eyes. Namaste, friends. May all of your wishes, deepest desires, intentions of your soul be fulfilled in this year. Now is the time. There's no need to wait. And yet when we align to our deepest truth, when we move from that space of figuring things out to allowing them to manifest through us, you will see, and I'm sure you have seen in your life, and hopefully this practice this week will help you to allow it to unfold so naturally, so effortlessly. And that's when we know that we're really on track. So I hope that, and I hold that intention for all of you. So tomorrow, day 3, we are going to move into a sensory experience. So now that we've planted those seeds, you can say that the sensory experience on day 3 will be the nurturing of the soil. We'll start to give the seeds all of the goodness that it needs to start to take root. So tomorrow, please bring with you an aroma to our experience, to our conversation, whether you're live or watching it after. But bring an aroma when you get into it. So any aroma, it can be an essential oil. Many of us have those. It could be a spice from your spice rack in the kitchen. It could be a vegetable from your refrigerator. It could be a flower from your garden. It could be a stick of incense or a candle at the house, a perfume or a cologne, anything that you love smelling. And also, ideally, it's a smell that you don't smell that often. So if it is like your daily perfume, that's probably not the best choice. Choose something that we can, of course, work with tomorrow to draw a connection to bring into your life, to help constantly have and hold that tie for you. But if it's something that you smell all the time, then it's a little bit harder to build a new association. So that's the intention and of this work, of this experience. So bring with you the smell and aroma, something that, sure, you love the smell for sure, and you have smelled it before maybe, but it's not something that's all around you all the time. Hopefully that makes sense. And then lastly, for anyone that wants to learn more, I've had a few questions about my 6-week class. Speaking of senses, actually, there's a whole week, one of the sessions of the 6 weeks is all about nourishing through the senses, balancing our dog's body, mind through the senses. And that is a huge, huge piece and a tool of Ayurveda. So that's what the 6 weeks is all about, Ayurveda for dogs, and breaking it down to all kinds of different practices, holistic, natural practices. So much to learn for ourselves, our human selves, as well as for our dogs. And as my friend Jennifer said, who's on here right now, she said, I thought about that when you mentioned the course, and I thought, if I'm doing all of this work for myself and setting intentions and spending so much time and purpose in what I want to see manifest for myself, why would I leave out one of my most important family members? So that's a wonderful way to look at it. Let's include them in this spiritual, natural, heartfelt life that we're living together. So thank you so much for being part of our community. Lots of love to all of you. So much for my 15 minutes. I'm not so good at these really brief things. Sorry, guys. So hopefully you got all you needed out of this, and we'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Namaste. Lots of love. Bye for now.